there's one point that I always come back to, which is like, are you playing business to win or are you playing business not to lose? And this comes back to that whole concept of, I get it, but it goes against the grain of what people want to do, right? Like there's so few people who say, oh my gosh, we're stepping into a recession. I'm going to leverage up and I'm going to go running and things like that, right? Most people will bunker down, sort of batten the hatches and go, I'm going to wait for the storm to go over, because that's what intuitively it's fight or flight, right? And so it takes a lot of effort to go against that thing that is built inside the back of our heads, which is intuitive to us as human beings, not necessarily just in business or just in investments. Like, this is what we do. This is someone's like attacking us. I
couldn't agree more. And in fact, so here I am being a bastion of truth and trying to tell people actually things aren't as bad as they seem. There's a lot of like upward mobility in the economy and property and everything like that. I'm like, I look at the facts. I don't read the news that often. I was reading the news the other night, different night to the one where I was selling my shares, right? But I was reading. But I don't know.
It sounds like I might relate. Just going to put it out there.
It's the couch. Every time I go to the couch, I end up reading bad news, right? And so I was reading all of these bad news stories. Honestly, I was like reading all these bad news stories, like housing market's going to crash and all of this kind of stuff. And I didn't even realize what was happening, but I started to believe it. I actually went to bed and was laying in bed and I was thinking, man, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do? Everything's going to be over. How am I going to get through this? And then I was like, whoa, it happened. I got brainwashed in a blink of an eye. And I just want to, Charlie, I can see you want to say something there, because that really caught me to just like guard my mind massively and to look at the facts, because I was like, damn it, even I am getting blindsided by this negativity. And back to your point around like how to behave in a recession. So just to be clear, there's a lot of economic runctions going on. Stock market's going down, inflation's up, interest rates are going. There's a lot going on right now. So I think we can all agree that there's a degree of uncertainty, regardless of who you are and what you think you know. There's a degree of uncertainty, right? When all of this started, and over the last couple of months, I thought to myself, when I realized that consumer sentiment was about the same level as April 2020, I asked myself a simple question. If I could go back to April 2020, what would I have done differently? And the answer to that was to grow as hard as I could, right? Because I knew that was the right answer. The same thing I was just like, imagine where we'd be today. Same thing if you could go back to the GFC, if you could go back to 2008, 2009. What would you do differently? Would you buy every property that you could find? Would you rapidly see how fast you could expand your business? What would you do differently then that you can actually, you can learn from that? You can learn from history and you can apply it now. Right? I'm not saying be risky and be careless. In fact, the opposite. I'm saying make informed, intelligent decisions about your business and real estate. But what would you have done differently? Sorry, Charlie.
I feel like you're describing me, Goose. That was exactly what I did during the pandemic. It was a very difficult thing to do, though. I must admit, and like there's obviously I get to claim the glory now of how well my property portfolio is done and go, look how smart I am, look at this, really. But the other side of it is I don't think people necessarily understand the stress and concern I had while doing it. Like every time we bought some fairly large properties and like I would take on, let's say $1 million of debt, and then I'd turn on the news and be like, yeah, all these people have died. There's a new variant. There's all that you can get locked down in Melbourne again. And like it was quite difficult mentally to deal with. And at many times I was like, I need out, like almost like a malfunction on my brain. I think there's a layer deeper to this though. And this is the thing that I really hit with. Many business owners particularly have this belief that their business is all going to fall apart. It's just going to end. Totally. Like there's this real deep concern that the thing they've built can just disappear or evaporate. We hear things like 90% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. We look at the ups and downs and challenges across our journey, and you can see that if you've got that deeply wired in you that this could all go away, throw a news cycle on, how difficult it is to act in that environment. And it's just such the psychology of markets and how it all comes together fascinates me to no end. And I try to be a better investor for it and business owner now and kind of not lean into that. And to your point, Goose, protect my mind. But I look at that again and just really want to go to just how hard that is. this isn't easy what we're doing here. And like, I'm sure you've had your doubts and moments across like even now thinking about trying to grow, right? As I have, like I've had my fear moments. I'm sure everyone who listens to this podcast has had their fear moments, but it's a incredibly powerful thing to cultivate.
Hey, fellow business owner, if this topic and value-packed short video has resonated with you at all, and you want to dive deeper into being a full stack business owner, check out the full episode by clicking the link on your screen or in the description right now.